More of the, I guess, the human side and some stories of what I've experienced and the great honor I've had of being part of an interdisciplinary research team, which is really exciting because we're finding these answers by collaboration. So I will never forget this early experience I had as a music therapist working in long-term care. And I was in a closed Alzheimer's area. Back then we called it a ward or a unit. And I went in there and Mr. O'Malley, Arthur O'Malley was there. And he was an elderly Irishman with Alzheimer's, late stage Alzheimer's, very hard of hearing. So every day he would just spend his time in his room. He was isolated, he wouldn't leave the room. So usually they give those cases to the music therapist. So I would go in there with my drum and I, sort of what I just did with you guys, I'd play a little bit and I'd put it in front of him and he'd tap on it. We'd start having these conversations. And then about 10 minutes in, he'd start wandering away from me. But over time, his attention span increased, his mood increased while I was in the room with him. We were starting to see some positive benefits. He must have been in his 80s. One day, by coincidence, his daughter and her husband were there to visit him while I was doing drumming. They were shocked. They'd never seen Arthur O'Malley look so energized and positive and excited. And they were amazed. What do you think I did? I got 2 more drums. And here's the 4 of us sitting there, these little rooms, they're like on the bed and sitting on the chair, and we're banging away on drums. This is why I use the drums. I'm not a drummer. I almost failed class percussion in college. It was years later that I was invited to a drum circle by some psychologists and I discovered I had rhythm. But for a lot of years, because I couldn't play a paradiddle or read technical music, I thought, anybody relate to this story? I thought I had no rhythm. What an ironic thing, I make a living doing this now. So I went and got these drums and we're all playing and we're smiling, the level of affect is beautiful, and out of nowhere, Arthur O'Malley starts singing, like belting out, "My body lies over the ocean." He's playing his drum, and I look over, and his daughter is crying. And I'm saying, "Are you okay? What happened?" She said, "My name is Bonnie, and he named me after that song." Wow. And I've been visiting him for 2 years, and today is the first time I know he knows I'm here. And that moment changed my entire music therapy practice. I bought more drums. I really shifted to this opportunity to use drumming. There's something about rhythm. It's innate, it touches the body. We have incredible research on Alzheimer's patients who have terrible memory loss but can sing 3 verses of Amazing Grace. When they participate in group drumming, their memory improves, their participation improves, the social bonding improves, a lot of these kinds of benefits. So let me just take a very short period of time, because then what's really important is you get to experience drumming here tonight. Would you like that?
Yes.
How auspicious it is to be in San Diego, where the first, in I think 1991, the first Association on Aging grant was awarded to music therapy, which was called Rhythm for Life. Mickey Hart's mother had Alzheimer's, and he had had experiences just like my story with Mr. O'Malley, where transformation had occurred. So he was a passionate advocate to the White House. And we had these studies, and San Diego, right here, with Dr. Barbara Royer, was one of the first places where this was tested. And there was funding to look at group drumming with elderly, and actually they call it welderly. Well, elderly. As a health maintenance, as we began to get interested in quality of life. And I love these images because when you think of a drum circle, you don't always see this in your mind. But it's really not about the drums. It's about the quality of interaction. It's about the non-musical benefits, which what is I look at as a music therapist. It's about coordination, it's about connection. Music seems to bring out something, the best of us. People want to connect. And I know that thanks to the support I received from NAM to do this in a war zone, not with soldiers, but actually with Kurds and Arabs. So I dyed my hair brown, wore a headscarf, went and worked with 4 different warring tribes, 2 translators, and we drummed for 5 days. And these kind of pictures, these kind of moments happened where people were surprised at how much they had in common when we started to just make music together. Yes, you mentioned the study with Dr. Barry Bittman, so I want to go just for a moment a little deeper with it because this was very revolutionary in my thinking about the benefits of music, and this can really help all of you, all of us. What changed the most, biologically, reversed the stress on a genomic level, was recreational playing of pianos, Yamaha pianos, but not in the way that you might have had that teacher with the ruler and the scales. This is fun. This is the key of what you said about creativity, improvisation. People could make up their own parts. So this study was very revolutionary for a lot of us because we first of all discovered that everybody has an individualized stress signature. So what makes your body change after stress? You get hives, or another person gets a cold, right? We are all so individual. But the music intervention, if we can just have some tool to be creative and free and to practice simple things like breathing, it really reduced stress. And there's just nothing deeper than a genomic level, right? That's pretty solid. It's not self-reports. And all the people in the study were non-musicians. So we really had a clean example of people that were experiencing this. And so the way I phrase this is that it's not what music does for us, it's what it undoes. Literally reverses stress signals genomically. So if we can unflip those switches that create cancer and heart problems and other stress-related diseases, why are we not doing more music?